So Kirsten Gillibrand was maybe not the only person, but she was one of the people who really tried to get a moment by attacking Joe Biden, and she failed. She failed. Now, I've mentioned this in previous segments, but the first time I watched the debate, I thought Biden was nothing but a punching bag the whole night, and he was obliterated. The second time I watched the debate, I thought, that Biden definitely didn't do well, but he didn't do as bad as I thought the first time around. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he did anywhere near good, because he didn't. But I don't think he did as bad as I originally thought. I originally thought he imploded in a Delaney-type fashion. He didn't. Because he actually had rebuttals to a lot of the attacks against him that were kind of quick-witted. No substance in his rebuttals. But quick-witted enough where he had the audience on his side, and people were piling on so much, by a certain point you almost felt bad. And you're almost like, all right, reel it in a little bit. So this is probably the best example of an attack that Kirsten Gillibrand went with here that ended up falling short. So let's listen and then we'll discuss.
I want to address Vice President Biden directly. When the Senate was debating middle-class affordability for child care, he wrote an op-ed. He voted against it, the only vote. But what he wrote in an op-ed was that he believed that women working outside the home would, quote, create the deterioration of family. He also said that women who were working outside the home were, quote, avoiding responsibility. And I just need to understand, as a woman who's worked my entire career as the primary wage earner, as the primary caregiver, in fact, my second son, Henry, is here. And I had him when I was a member of Congress. So under Vice President Biden's analysis, am I serving in Congress resulting in the deterioration of the family because I had access to quality, affordable daycare? I just want to know what he meant when he said that.
That was a long time ago, and here's what it was about. It would have given people making today $100,000 a year a tax break for child care. I did not want that. I wanted the child care to go to people making less than $100,000, and that's what it was about. As a single father, who in fact raised 3 children for 5 years by myself, I have some idea what it costs. I support making sure that every single solitary person needing child care get an $8,000 tax credit now. That would put 700,000 women back to work, increase the GDP by almost 0.8%. It's the right thing to do. If we can give tax breaks to corporations for these things, why can't we do it this way?
But Mr. Vice President, you didn't answer my question. What did you mean when you said when a woman works outside the home, it's resulting in, quote, the deterioration of family?
No,
that we are avoiding, these are quotes. It was the title of the op-ed. No. And that just causes concern for me because we know America's women are working. 4 out of 10 moms have to work. They are the primary or sole wage earners. They actually have to put food on the table. 8 out of 10 moms are working today. Most women have to work to provide for their kids. Many women want to be working to provide for their communities and to help people.
Let the Vice President
either you
respond.
don't believe it today, or what did you mean when you said it
In
then?
the very beginning, my deceased wife worked, but we had children. My present wife has worked all the way through raising our children. The fact of the matter is, the situation is one that I don't know what's happened. I wrote the Violence Against Women Act. Lily Ledbetter. I was deeply involved in making sure the equal pay amendments. I was deeply involved in all these things. I came up with the It's On Us proposal to see to it that women were treated more decently on college campuses. You came to Syracuse University with me and said it was wonderful. I'm passionate about the concern, making sure women are treated equally. I don't know what's happened except that you're now running for president.
So I understand, Mr. Vice President, I respect you deeply. I respect you deeply. But those words are very specific. You said women working outside the home would lead to the deterioration of family. My grandmother worked outside the home.
So
my mother worked outside the home.
Thank you, Senator Gillibrand.
So, well, he has
I want to bring Senator Harris
either
into
he
this
no
conversation.
longer believes it. I mean, I just think he needs to.
I never believed it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Senator Harris.
Wow. That Biden did to Kirsten Gillibrand there what Biden did to Paul Ryan back when he was debating Paul Ryan one-on-one And he did what he did to Sarah Palin, too, when he was debating Sarah Palin one-on-one. Biden has always been a good debater one-on-one with Republicans. He doesn't do as well in this format where he's surrounded by, many different Democrats. But that line of attack seemed like it was a massive overreach. And unlike on issues of race, where Joe Biden does have a very checkered past, and he was wrong on many issues involving race, on the issue of women's rights, his record has been very pro-woman. So it seems like she's taking an op-ed he wrote back in the day has to be somewhat out of context, because if his record is pro-woman, and it is, and he gave a lot of examples right there of his record being pro-woman, Violence Against Women Act, Lilly Ledbetter, so on and so forth, then that's just an overreach attack. Like, you're just reaching and trying too hard, and you're not being totally fair and accurate. And so it was a problem up front, but then it just totally crumbled because she kept almost like repeating herself, and it still wasn't landing. And then you just gave him an open door where he was just like fucking slapping it down left and right. And, you used to love me and invite me to this thing. And I don't know what happened other than now you're running for president and the audience explodes. So see, this is what I mean. Like, the first time I watched the debate, when everybody goes after Biden, I just saw Biden getting body blows landed on him. The second time I watched the debate, I noticed that there were many back and forths where Biden actually did counterpunch and landed some of his counterpunches. So I originally thought Biden was Delaney'd, but he wasn't. He wasn't Delaney'd. Now, he didn't do a good job because he really didn't have as many good moments. There weren't many just flat out good moments that were Biden nailed it moments. So he didn't do well, but he didn't do as bad as I thought. And I do think it's a debate and it's a discussion to be had as to who did worse, Kamala or Biden. I'm very interested to see what everybody thinks about that, because some people think Kamala did worse than Biden. Some people think Biden did worse than Kamala. All I know is they both didn't do well. So what that means is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren should be celebrating.